Hello and welcome back to the Dust Coffee People podcast. Today I'm your host Samuel, and I'm joined by the founders of Lizzie's Place, a whimsical and welcoming coffee shop in Alabama named after their beloved dog. What makes Lizzie's Place special isn't just the coffee, but also their mission to bring people together, give back to the community, and revive the spirit of the 90s coffee shop. From hosting local artists to donating a portion of their sales to charity each month, they built a space that's about connection, generosity, and creativity. Steve, Leah, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you a lot for your time.
Of course.
So, going back to the origin, can you take us back to how Liz's Place began? Tell us the
Oh,
story
how
of
far
the
back do we have to
origin
go?
and
Yeah,
what
how
was the
far
spark? Yeah, that, what was
we can
that
start.
spark that made you decide to open up a coffee shop?
Well, the origins really began back in the 90s when we were in college and we would go to coffee shops that were relaxing with cozy couches, great music, and you just sit with your friends and hang out. And as the years went by, we both just kind of missed that. Right?
I had also worked in coffee shops in that time, and yeah, it's a different environment now to the modern coffee shops. And so when I came here to Florence, it didn't seem like there were the same type of coffee shops where students could be comfortable and get creative and make friends and meet people who are different from themselves. So it was a little bit of that and then a little bit of necessity. So
Yeah. So for the necessity part, during COVID, I spent 25 years as a vitamin supply chain person. And then when COVID hit, I turned to remote consulting. And then when COVID finished, the remote consulting dried up. And so I was trying to find work. And one day I was like, hey, I miss the coffee shops of the 90s. What do you think maybe if we just make one?
join
And
forces, my knowledge of the actual coffee industry, his knowledge of supply chain, and both of our knowledge of the town, and it kind of came together from there.
mm,
A lot of what we wanted to do was also built around, I'm a political science professor, so it's really important to me to try to build, to try to fight back against polarization in politics, and I find that especially in Alabama. So finding a location where people from all different walks of life could interact with each other as equals, as peers, and start to see the humanity in each other is the step towards civil society that we really wanted to help boost. Find that location where people could just be themselves and be accepted for who they are. So we worked towards building that cozy, comfortable, creative spot, and here we are. And it's still alive.
still alive.
Yeah,
We, we have our 2-year birthday is this week.
yeah, there we go.
So yeah,
Congratulations
happy
for that.
birthday to
Yay.
us.
Hey, I can
It's
see why you say it's
interesting.
cozy because your background really looks so cozy.
It is. It's all comfortable seating, or yeah, everything had to be tested for comfort and durability.
So, and that's one of the things that makes our coffee shop great is we know our lanes. So I gave her a budget, and she found the furniture and the lights and the bookshelf, and she makes the place look good, and I keep the cost down where it's supposed to be. So we do our own things
I do
to
the
work together.
menu. He keeps the paperwork up to date.
Somebody's got to pay taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I can
I don't
see
want
that.
to. It's kind of perfect.
What would you say is the difference between a 90s coffee between a modern one? You were mentioning that difference before.
The sterility. I mean, obviously, the advancements in technology have allowed us to find like the gadgetry to be able to perfect the flavor of coffee in the third wave and fourth wave. But I miss the cozy comforts of the 90s coffee shops where you still had silly, fun recipes and things like that, but the focus was on the flavor and the environment and the population. So a lot of times you go into these places and they're extremely clean and I mean, ours is clean too, but the sterility of the look. And this one is much more cozy, relaxed, laid back, and everyone knows your name sort of place.
The last 10 years have been all about getting customers in, serve their coffee, and kick them out.
Yeah.
And that's what we miss, is letting people to come in and hang out.
We have a drive-through too, because we have a lot of, customers want to get their drinks on the way, but we also have plenty of space and plenty of comfortable seating for them to bring their friends, do an art night and do a game night, do a prayer circle, whatever they want to do. And they can be here and stay here, and they're welcome here. So that's what we're working on.
That sounds beautiful. Okay, so I have a question here for Steve. Mainly, how did losing a corporate job and taking a leap into the entrepreneurship change your life?
I missed that.
Oh, you're in the corporate world.
Oh.
How has taking the leap changed your life?
Oh, goodness. It's still stressful, but it's a different stress, right? The stress I had before was just responding to my president and the CEO and having to wear the tie every day and the corporate rat race stress. Now the stress, I feel a lot more for our employees, because our employees, our baristas, are all 20-something college kids, and I feel not all, but most.
Yeah, we have a variety.
I feel more responsible for them than I did for the other just numbers in the game.
And there's a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears at this place
That's
of
true.
us in it. So your stress is building for us. Building for our town and our community, and that's a good stress.
It is. It's a very.
I mean, still stress, but it's it's special stress. I had a group of fellow faculty here a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "It must be so nice. You can just come in here and relax." And I'm like, "Well, actually, I come in here to work, but sometimes I get to sit back and relax too. So that's good."
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a job. Nothing you can
Exactly.
say.
It is. And now I have a place to bring students or faculty if we want to have a meeting off campus, so that's good.
Oh, that's a great place to reunite.
Yeah.
So you described Lizzie's place as a whimsical and inspired coffee shop by the 90s. Tell us more about what coffee shops of the 90s means to you, and what do you think coffee shops today could benefit from that?
Oh. So for me in the 90s, it was all about literally every night. I would go down to the coffee shop and we would bring a deck of cards, usually Magic the Gathering, and me and 3 or 4 friends would sit around the table and we would play cards for hours.
Every day?
Just about. Because when you're studying during the day and you have classes during the daytime, then at night you want to relax.
Yeah.
And so that was just a good way to hang out. And you'd meet new friends because different people would come in. Somebody at a different table would be like, "Oh, hey, I play too. Could I join the next game? Or could I come tomorrow night?" And you'd meet new people, which was wonderful.
In my experience, I worked at one coffee shop, which was both a coffee shop and a bookstore, and I built their menu as a teen. And then I would go out with my friends to a different coffee shop where we would, study, or we would play games or anything like that. It was just where we got to hang out with our friends. But I kept going to coffee shops when I lived abroad, anywhere I've ever lived. I've coffee, tea, beverages, like foods connect us. And so I found when I do research abroad or when I studied abroad, I was able to get into a conversation with people and really break the ice over how you're supposed to make coffee or how you're supposed to make tea. And I wrote my dissertation at a coffee shop too, so it just kept going from there. And it's always been kind of a place where I could stop, shut everything down. I didn't have any other responsibilities, and really get my work done or get myself grounded or something like that. Connect with my friends, and those were all very important parts of my experience in old coffee shops.
When you mention things that coffee shops today are missing, like for example, we have behind us this bookcase, right? And we encourage people, come grab a book, read a book. We have everything from classics like Frankenstein to some more obscure poetry and things.
Umberto Eco is up there, and cybersecurity for the
Wow.
for the modern era. Like it's literally any sort of book you could ever want. Finn.
Yeah. Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, we've got like an original Huckleberry Finn up there, and
In the other corner, we have a shelf of board games and card games for people to just come and have a spontaneous date night, right? Because we've seen it before. We've had college kids come in to study.
and then they're married the next year.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun.
they've come back a year later announcing
Oh
an
my
engagement.
God.
It's been awesome.
We've had
Right, I mean-
two weddings out of us, and then
Yeah.
one, like a couple places. We've been on a few different people's
Like
during
scavenger hunts.
a scavenger hunt for somebody was proposing to someone else, and then a few other things like that, like special dates, and
You don't find that in the corporate world.
no,
Really?
we get to be a part of
Wow.
it, and we also get to sell local art from local and regional artists. So we get to support those groups, and then we have a lot of nonprofit organizations that sell the materials that they make here. Like Holos Hope is a trafficking organization that helps bring women back into society after experience of extreme violence and trafficking. And they make products as part of their therapeutic rehabilitation, and they sell them here, and they get 100% of the proceeds, and gives us a way to support those sorts of organizations. And any sort of event that they have, we get to be a part of it. And I've never made enough as a professor to be able to donate much, but now we can give time and energy and a space to people to really make a change if they can.
That is so beautiful to see how your coffee shop just came up from love, and now it's producing love and giving love to anyone.
It is a very lovely place. I think
Yeah.
it's the amber colored lighting.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Speaking of with the community things, that's one of the other things we do is every month we pick a nonprofit charity, and every month we do monthly specials, right? We pick one of these drinks, and 30% of the sales of that drink goes to a local nonprofit, so we can support the community in our neighborhood.
And the cool thing is the community backs it up, because
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
come in and they'll buy like
They'll
one
buy-
a day of that special, because they're like, oh, it's the animal shelter, I want to support that. And you get to see this goodness in people that's really inspiring, especially some days you really need to see that. Especially studying political science. Yeah. It's sometimes really important to us to be able to see just how good and caring a lot of people really truly are.
Yeah, well, that was about to get into my next question about the donating some percentage of your sales each month to certain coffee charities.
Yep.
But how did that commitment start?
Ooh,
Okay, we started low. So we started with the sales, the consignment goods, so our art shelves. We started by opening up art shelves to any organization that had anything that they needed to get out there to the public. And we could help them get information out. So we couldn't afford much at that point, but we could give them shelves. And then it started moving into doing events at cost for them. So that, I mean, it gets our name out there, which is great. But then they get to have a much more formal event where they're providing special coffee to people, or either here or at their locations. And we can do it at cost, if at all possible. And that makes a tax deduction for us for the costs, and then they don't have to pay anything. and they can do a fundraiser or something like that. And then now finally we're strong enough that we can start to have these specials on our menu that we can push for, hey, this foundation needs your help, and they have a special, it's a mocha with cinnamon, and or whatever it is, that it's based off this story of why that fits this organization. So if you can come in and support them, and people really will, when there's a variety of options, they'll choose the one that's going to go to help others. So it's pretty cool to see. But it's been building up gradually, because we're not that far in the black, right? Like, we're not making a lot of money yet, but this gives us the opportunity to use the sales to so bring attention, bring money.
And if I could get, I guess, a little real for a second, my family tree has been rife with addictions of different things, of which some I've struggled myself. And so we all need a second chance, right? And that's one reason why our charity program, we try to spread it out, where we've done
right now it's the domestic violence. Domestic violence, the animal shelter, but we have a
people
Daisy's
with special
place.
needs.
So it's giving us the opportunity. I can do a little bit back. A lot of what I study is the extremes, massive human rights violations and genocide, but also just human vulnerability and how it contributes to everything from trafficking to unequal death rates and things like that. And this way I can actually put my activities where my mouth is, and try to not just research, but actually find those organizations that seem to be meeting that need locally that otherwise might not be met, and sometimes don't get the attention because there's so many asking for help, and we can really locate those that are doing the biggest difference that we can find, and we try to do as much research as we can and support them then as strongly as we can from that point on.
Well said.
That's really beautiful. I mean, and it's really great, and I want to congratulate you for that, because when you give, you receive, and you can see that. You can see that.
And the community does respond, absolutely.
We've got it took a little while to get used to. We're both transplants here, and this is the deep South, right? So it's different. I grew up in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I've lived everywhere, and I was like, well, I've lived in Arkansas, I've lived in the South. But this is a unique location, and it took a little while to really find my place here, and I think for you too.
Oh, yeah.
But now that we have, it's like, oh, this is truly a all encompassing community that really will take care of its own, and it's not what you might imagine of deep Southern communities in the United States.
Well, not that you mentioned about that process of stabilizing in some place. For other small business owners who want to give back but they feel overwhelmed, what advice do you have?
I say you have to start small with that. You use, think about it. People are going to, if you make a good social media, right, which you're going to have to do if you're going to get your name out there and get the youth to your coffee shop, you're going to have a solid social media presence. Use your platform then to bring in those who need that platform. Because it's...
Even if you can't spare the money to donate a percentage of drinks, just name one of your drinks after a local charity, just to bring attention to them.
Or have like a canned food drive in your location. Like utilize your location to have events that bring attention and bring, help them get donations from people who can afford it. So we've also, early on, we would have little buckets that went to different charities, and there would be competitions over drinks and things like that. Start small. There's things that even if you don't have enough spare because you're just starting out and overhead is knocking you down, especially these days, you can find ways to do the little things. From day one, we've had donation baskets in the back of our store for the women's shelter, for the animal shelter, and a few others, and we tell customers they're right back there, and then we bring it in whenever it gets full. And those are things that cost us nothing. And those are ways that you can make a difference. And honestly, the community appreciates you bringing those things together, and that's going to help you out in the process too. So start small. Don't start by throwing your entire, all of your earnings, but do what you can from day one and build it up. That's the way we've managed to do it, and we have big plans for more in the future, but for now,
that's lovely to know. That's really great. Well, I mean, you're about to celebrate 2 years in business now, in October 4th, yeah?
It's a big deal.
So congratulations for that.
Thank you. Even the corgi's coming. Our little dog is going to come for the birthday parties.
Oh, yeah. Is he around there?
She's not here with us. The health department doesn't really appreciate her being around the food, but we bring her to any events where she can sit outside, and she loves people, she adores anyone giving her attention, especially children. So this is like her happiest day on earth. Anytime.
Well, for anyone listening right now, if you want to meet Lizzie's, just go to lizzie'splace.com and you will find it there.
She is the sassiest, cutest little thing in the world, and she knows it, unfortunately, but nevertheless, it keeps her cute. She doesn't need to be humble to be cute. So, her little wiggle butt and everything.
And you can go to the social media, right? Lizzie's Place Coffee, Instagram or Facebook. Probably once a week we throw pictures of her on there.
We have
the crowd demands it.
To be fair, we also have a TikTok, but the baristas entirely run that, so that is mostly Insanity and Lizzie. But every once in a while, she has to come visit them and do a manager check. They're her favorite people, so it works nicely.
Okay, so just a last question here. What advice do you wish you could have gotten in the beginning that may have saved you some time or effort in the long run?
We needed to learn more about personnel. I think
hire fast, fire faster.
That sounds terrible, but we have the most incredible workers, but we have made mistakes. And we sometimes kept those mistakes so long that it started to infect the rest of the workforce. And I think if we had learned early on, because both of us had managed people, but we've managed people in different environments, and so we needed the personnel input in a way that we hadn't learned prior. We probably could have used a professional to help us figure out how to set up the building when we built out, but we're fine. I mean,
we did great.
I downloaded ARC. I mean, basically, it wasn't. We didn't exactly know what we were doing with anything, but it all kind of came. It all came together eventually. We had a good general game plan on everything. We tried to kind of coordinate, double check, and check back. So there was definitely a lot of things we needed to learn early on. But I think we kind of lucked out finding expertise among friends or contacts that helped us through when we couldn't figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
How about you?
The other bit of advice I might give is don't bite off more than you can chew, but definitely take a big mouthful. Stretch yourself. So for example, we started off with some basic food items, right? When we didn't know if we would be able to sell food or not. But now we have sandwiches and we have a whole lunch menu now. And right now we don't roast our own beans yet, right? Roasting beans would be taking on.
That's in the 5-year plan.
But yeah, in the next 3 years, I would love to get a roaster and start roasting my own beans.
Yeah, and so figuring out what you can do for right now and what you want to do and how to work towards that. It takes a while because we're both like, we can do everything at first, and then it's no, we can't do anything. It's all too overwhelming. So it's finding that happy medium between the two, and I think we've managed to finally get there. It took 2 years of insanity, but now we're finally there. And I think maybe just a voice of sanity over our shoulders, like you can't do everything, you don't need to do nothing, would have also been helpful at some point. But yeah, stretching ourselves beyond what we think we can do.
You gotta find that balance.
Yeah, but also within reason, where we're not gonna wear out our incredible baristas and ourselves and anything else.
Yeah. The only other bit of advice I would say is plan the menu input carefully on the computers. I've had to tweak so many times how the menu is done when taking an order for just a simple cup of coffee.
Oh yeah,
And
like
now I've got it perfect, but it took 2 years to get there.
how point of sale systems are set up. It's weird how much lag time that can put into your ordering and how that can change the whole customer experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so glad you can figure that out, because I just want to throw those things every time I encounter them, and they're perfect, and I still want to throw them. So,
Oh my God. Whenever I come to the US, I really want to visit you. I mean,
please
Please
do.
do.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that place
And
looks
Lizzie would love to
amazing.
see you. We'll sneak her in for you.
Yeah, let's see and see you grow with all your exciting plans.
Yeah.
Finding you roasting your own coffee, that would be so great.
Yes.
We would
It
really
really
like to
would.
get there.
So, Leah and Steve, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or wants to visit you, what is the best way they can do it?
Honestly, social media would probably be the easiest way to
Yeah.
contact. We both check all the messages that come through everything, so one of us will
And
get back.
Our handle is Lizzie's Place Coffee. Lizzies Place Coffee. Everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. It's the same handle everywhere you go.
We have Snapchat?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. Oops. Well, we may not check Snapchat as much, but everything else we do have. And we respond very fast whenever we can.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they could reach out to us. They can come visit us in Florence, Alabama. We're on Cox Creek Boulevard. So anybody who comes here would be able to find us pretty easily, and we'd love to see you.
Okay, that sounds perfect. So, Leah, Steve, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your beautiful place. It looks so cozy, so amazing.
Oh,
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
taking time out to talk to us.
And everyone, thank you so much for listening to that. This was Those Coffee People podcast. I'll see you in the next time. Bye bye.
bye.